Hey there, and welcome. Today, we're going to dive into a really powerful and honestly compassionate way to help seniors who are dealing with cognitive fog. And here's the thing, it's not about trying to fix their memory. It's about restoring their independence and their sense of calm with a simple, science-backed method. Let's get into it. So to really get what we're talking about, let's start with a story. It's a story that might feel really familiar if you've ever cared for an aging loved one. We're going to call her Mrs. H.
Okay, so picture this. Mrs. H just spent the afternoon with her son, showing him her new system for managing all her daily tasks. She had all the right tools. But after he left, this is what she said. This is all she felt. Just this feeling of defeat, even though she'd followed every single step perfectly. I mean, on the surface, everything looked perfect, right? She had this bright red hook for her keys, impossible to miss, a laminated checklist for the shower. She even had a magnet to remind her the stove was off. All the visual cues were there. She was doing everything she was supposed to do.
And this is the absolute heart of the issue. If the system was technically working, why did it feel so awful? Yeah, the tools were helping her get tasks done, but they were failing at something way more important. They weren't giving her back her confidence. And that, right there, is the real problem.
So, to figure out what was going on with Mrs. H, we've got to look at a little bit of behavioral science. But don't worry, it is not nearly as complicated as it sounds. It actually all boils down to one single missing feeling.
We're going to borrow a framework from a field called Applied Behavior Analysis, or ABA. Now, for what we're talking about today, you can just think of it as a really simple but kind of brilliant tool for understanding the loop that drives pretty much everything we do. It's called the ABC loop. So A is the antecedent. That's the trigger, like seeing your keys. B is the behavior. That's the action you take, like hanging them on the hook. And C is the consequence. That's the immediate results, the feeling you get right after you do the thing.
So for Mrs. H, the system had plenty of A's, all those bright visual cues. And the B's were there too, the checklists telling her what to do. The problem was the C, the consequence. That internal feeling of I did it, that sense of success and relief, it was just gone. And here's exactly where that breakdown happens. You see, in a healthy loop, you do behavior, like locking the front door, and you get an immediate internal reward, this little surge of peace, right? But with cognitive fog, that reward just vanishes. You lock the door, and you feel nothing. Or even worse, you feel a jolt of anxiety wondering, wait, did I actually do it? The whole loop is just broken.
Okay, so this is where reinforcement comes in. And look, it is not about giving treats or bribery, not at all. It's about providing a compassionate, external signal that says, yes, you did it, you are safe now. You can think of it like a temporary bridge that helps rebuild that internal feeling of calm and competence that's gone missing. So the big question is, how do we provide that missing consequence? How do we build that bridge back to confidence? Well, it turns out there are three really powerful and, frankly, loving ways to do it. The absolute best reinforcers are the ones that tap into our most basic human needs, especially for seniors. Things like comfort, connection, and just having a sense of purpose. Let's take a look at how to put these to work.
Social reinforcement is incredibly powerful, but how you deliver it is everything. I mean, the difference here is brilliant. The wrong way, it focuses on a past failure. I'm glad you didn't call me. But the right way? It highlights the independent success and immediately connects it to a positive outcome. That means you get to relax now. It builds them up instead of just reminding them of a past struggle.
Ultimately, this is the end game. This is what we're aiming for. Natural reinforcement is when the reward is just baked right into the action itself. For Mrs. H, her son started linking her success to something she actually loved. He'd say things like, "Mom, you've got everything handled. That means we have an extra half hour for the park today." Her success didn't just get her praise, it got her more time doing something that brought her real joy.
Okay, so let's get practical. Let's translate all of this into a simple action plan that anyone can use to give this kind of compassionate and effective support.
There are really just three rules to remember. First, it's got to be immediate, like within seconds. The brain needs to connect the action and the reward right away. Second, be specific. Don't just say, "good job." And third, use their preferences. The reward only works if it's something they actually care about. Let's really zero in on being specific for a moment. I mean, good job is nice, but it's pretty vague. Saying, "I see you checked off your entire list," shows you're actually paying attention to their effort. And then adding,
You must feel so comfortable now. Helps them connect their action to that feeling of calm we're trying to rebuild. It truly validates their success.
So, as we start to bring this all together, you can see this approach is really about a fundamental shift in how we think about this. It's not about what's been lost, it's about what we can build.
And this, right here, this is the single most important thing to take away from all of this. We are not trying to be memory doctors. We are treating the emotional fallout of memory loss, the anxiety, the fear, the self-doubt that can be so paralyzing. When we provide reinforcement, we give them the confidence to act again.
And hey, the science totally backs this up. Researchers in geriatrics have found that these exact procedures work. They improve quality of life. And get this, that improved quality of life becomes its own powerful motivator, creating this positive upward spiral of engagement and confidence. It's fantastic.
In the end, it all comes back to this one idea. For Mrs. H, and for so many others, the world can feel incredibly random and scary when you can't trust your own mind. But by creating a system with clear cues, and most importantly, with predictable positive consequences, we make success feel inevitable. And when success is predictable, confidence becomes possible again.
So I'll just leave you with this thought. What could change if we really shifted our focus? What if, instead of battling a symptom like memory loss, we put all of our energy into compassionately and systematically designing a world that builds confidence, one small reinforced success at a time?